Angel was a paramedic by profession. He had been in a devastating car accident during work. Although his life had been spared, it left Angel paralyzed from the waist down. Since then, Angel had been confined to a wheelchair, unable to care for himself or live independently. Despite the challenges on what happened, Vane chose to stay with Angel during his lowest point. But one day, Vane received a phone call. Angel's expression turned dark. He immediately demanded to know if the caller was male or female. The understanding Vane assured him it was just a female friend. She kissed Angel lightly, attempting to ease his worries. Although Angel appeared momentarily placated, his worsening insecurities stemming from his disability began to twist his psyche further. The following day, Angel secretly tampered with Vane's phone. He installed a GPS tracking app on Vane's mobile phone. This ensured that every move Vane made would be under his watchful eye. During dinner that evening, Vane mentioned she planned to leave her call center job. She wanted to pursue her dream of interning at a veterinary clinic. Angel immediately grew furious. He exclaimed, "If you quit your job, how will we survive?" He reminded her of the sacrifices he made before the accident. "Now I'm useless and you'll just abandon me," he accused. Angel's cruel words cut deep. Vane, taking his condition into consideration, chose not to argue with him. Instead, she quietly left the room, tears welling up. Angel watched Vane return to work through the monitoring app. Feeling reassured, Angel drifted off to sleep. In the middle of the night, he awoke in agony from his injury. Reaching for his painkillers, Angel discovered the bottle was empty. He tried calling Vane, but she didn't answer. Desperate, he stumbled out of bed, making his way to the kitchen to find the spare medicine Vane had stored. After taking the pills, his pain subsided, but his growing paranoia deepened. Angel spitefully hid the medication after using it. When Vane returned, Angel complained about the missing medicine. He accused her of neglecting him by not replenishing the medicine. "You don't care about me anymore," he declared dramatically. Vane protested, insisting she had left the bottle in its usual place. "It was in the cabinet," she said, confused. However, after searching, she couldn't find it. Left feeling guilty, Vane apologized to him. Angel smirked internally, satisfied his plan had worked to make Vane feel responsible. That night, Angel obsessively monitored Vane's movements on the app. Vane was speaking with her best friend about the painkillers. Her friend urged her to leave Angel, seeing his behavior as toxic. But Vane, ever compassionate, hesitated to make such a decision. Overhearing this, Angel's fear intensified. He became terrified that Vane would leave him for good. When Vane returned home from work, she found Angel with candles lit and champagne poured. He seemed oddly cheerful for once. He even supported her internship at the veterinary clinic. Angel, unusually, expressed full support for her plans. Their relationship momentarily seemed to improve. While Angel went to take a bath, Vane stumbled across evidence of Angel spying on her through the app. Her hard work and trust had been met with nothing but suspicion and betrayal. It shattered her heart. Vane resolved to leave Angel once and for all. She packed her bags and fled. When Angel emerged from the bathroom, he realized Vane was gone. Rushing to the room, he saw his computer still on. He realized her departure was a result of his own actions. 6 months passed in the blink of an eye. Angel couldn't stop thinking about Vane. He decided to visit the veterinary clinic Vane had mentioned. Sure enough, he saw her there, talking and laughing with another man. Furious, Angel clenched his fists. A dark plan began to form in his mind. Angel acquired narcotics through his contacts at the hospital. He secretly followed Vane in his wheelchair. But Vane had clearly moved on. She had no desire to speak to Angel. He pleaded with her, saying he couldn't go on without her. He claimed this was his final goodbye. He promised she would never have to see him again. Alarmed, Vane suspected Angel might harm himself. Vane decided to escort him home. On the way, she tried to comfort him. She reassured him, hoping to dissuade him from any dangerous thoughts. Once they arrived downstairs, Angel lied, saying he needed to grab his passport from upstairs. Reluctantly, Vane agreed to accompany him upstairs. She followed him upstairs to retrieve it. While Vane was distracted, Angel injected her with the narcotic. When Vane woke up, she found herself tied to the bed. Angel, careful not to disturb the neighbors, turned the music up to full volume. He grabbed Vane's phone and sent a breakup text to her current boyfriend. When Vane woke up again, she realized her restraints had been loosened. As she tried to move, she discovered her legs were completely unresponsive. Angel had given her an overdose of anesthetics. Now Vane was paralyzed from the waist down, just like Angel. He believed this was the way to keep Vane by his side forever. But Vane refused to give in and smashed a bottle over Angel's head. She screamed desperately for help. Vane dragged herself toward the door with all her strength. Suddenly, Angel grabbed another syringe. With one more injection, Vane fell unconscious again. At that moment, the doorbell rang. A concerned neighbor had heard Vane's cries for help. The determined neighbor insisted on checking inside. He threatened to call the police if not allowed entry. As the neighbor entered the room, he spotted Vane lying on the floor. Angel launched a brutal attack from behind. Afterward, Angel paid a local criminal group a hefty sum. He used all his savings to have them dispose of the neighbor's body. Within 2 days, the police showed up at Angel's door. They were there to investigate Vane's disappearance. Vane's current boyfriend had filed a missing person report after losing contact. Out of desperation, he involved the authorities. Confronted by police questioning, Angel feigned calm and claimed he hadn't seen Vane in months. Noting his disability, the police didn't press further. Once the police left, Angel realized that to keep Vane forever, he would need to eliminate her current boyfriend. He broke into the boyfriend's house and hid, waiting for the perfect moment. When the chance arose, he injected the man with a syringe full of narcotics. The anesthetic quickly took effect. To ensure there was no trace left behind, Angel put on gloves and used a funnel on the man. He force-fed him a mix of alcohol and cephalosporin, staging the death to look like a suicide. Vane saw an opportunity to escape but knew she needed to gain Angel's trust first. She played along, pretending to comply with Angel's wishes. When she went to the bathroom, she discreetly grabbed a nail clipper from the counter. That night, Angel noticed Vane seemed unwell. Concerned, he rushed to the pharmacy to buy medicine, taking advantage of his absence. Vane retrieved the nail clippers she had hidden earlier. She painstakingly cut through the ropes binding her hands. She then found a screwdriver. With all her strength, she used it to bash the locked door. After a grueling effort, she managed to escape. But as she reached the elevator, she realized it was already coming up. Angel, returning from the pharmacy, saw Vane escaping. Without hesitation, he began to chase her. Luckily, his limited mobility slowed him down. Vane mustered all her strength to fend him off. Angel lost balance and was left dangling precariously. Vane watched as he finally fell. Relieved, Vane finally felt a glimmer of safety. Months later, Angel survived the fall but was now fully paralyzed. Vane's paralysis is now healed. She was now able to walk again. She volunteered to become Angel's legal guardian. Her intentions seem innocent but unsettling. A cold, eerie smile crossed Vane's face. It was clear that Angel's new life would be a fate worse than death. That's the end of the story. See you next time.